Welcome back, everyone. I'm still here at Art in the Loft, now joined with co-founder of the Susan Lane Foundation, Joe Bastow. Thank you so much for being here.
Great to be here.
So can you tell me a little bit about how the Susan Lane Foundation started and overall what this foundation is?
Certainly. Susan Lane Foundation began, my sister and I co-founded the nonprofit in 2013, and really it comes from a need that we saw in the community to really celebrate art through literature. And we really wanted to offer different opportunities for Northeast Michigan to get engaged through performance, through workshop and education in literature and writing in poetry and writing in nonfiction, writing in the creative arts, really. We saw a need for that, and so we really put this together to celebrate that. And really it's in honor of our late aunt, Susan Lane Bastow. And she was an instrumental force in our lives to really push us to be the creative, expressive people that we are. And so in her name, we've created this foundation to do all kinds of things in the community that really broaden literary perspective. And
your family is from the area, right?
Correct, yes. We all grew up here. The Bastows have been in Alpena for over 85 years, and so we're all kind of native. My sister and I went our separate ways and came back to town after 20 years of being out in the world, and now we're back here with our families and working on that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about how the foundation and maybe yourself have been involved with Art in the Loft over the last couple of years?
So we connected with Art in the Loft about 4 years ago. We have an annual, we were doing really what inspired the Susan Lane Foundation to get off the ground was that we had a poetry reading, and we've done it for 6 years now. We approached Art in the Loft about 4 years ago and said, hey, we love your space. Our Aunt Suze was really instrumental in getting off the ground in 2001, and so we'd love to be a part of it. Could we hold our reading here? We met with the board, and the board said, sure, it'd be great. And every year since then, we've had poetry in Alpena, which 1% of the population reads poetry, and of that 1%, most of them are poets. So we've had events here, and we've had upwards of 60 people. Actually, our last event, which was August 13, we had over 84 people come to Art in the Loft to enjoy poetry of all things. So we've kind of grown over the years with our yearly event here at Art in the Loft, and it's been a fabulous experience, and we're looking forward to actually holding the capstone event at the end of October, which is Image and Word Through Black and White, a celebration of not only Susan Lane, but also of arts in general.
So can you talk a little bit about Susan Lane's artwork? I know we have some of it behind you here, and maybe why the black and white theme kind of comes from her artwork.
Absolutely. She was an artist that worked in many genres, but her specific and main focal point was photography. She always came back to that. That was kind of her foundation. And so, yes, the pieces behind me are black and whites that she took, that she exhibited not only in Alpena, but also in Ann Arbor and in Grand Rapids and different places around the state. And she had traveled extensively, Europe and other places to get her photographs and her photography. And she would actually be in the darkroom at her her parents' basement, and she would develop her own film, and I get to watch her do some of that. So the black and white theme for the celebration for Art in the Loft's 15th anniversary kind of revolves around her photography. And so I think that is inspirational to a lot of people. Absolutely.
So what have you found, working with her artwork, being involved in the community? How are the reactions when they find out about the Susan Lane Foundation, or maybe just when they see her artwork?
I think, her artwork continues to inspire a lot of people. I think that the work that my sister Ann Harity and I do with the foundation, not only with student writing prizes that award cash money for submissions, also our community poetry readings that we have in Alpena, and we join with the Besser Museum. Also the North 45 East poetry reading. We're involved in the community, and I think people are starting to recognize that we've been around and that we're really trying to support art through literature and the arts in general. We also have a haiku contest that's coming up with the Heritage Tour in October. And so we've got our hands in some things, and we're trying to really bring the community to art. And I think the community is starting to come.
So with this black and white exhibit, how do you think the atmosphere is going to feel, kind of seeing this whole gallery be turned into black and white, and of course in remembrance of such a great lady?
I think, you know, it's going to be fabulous. I don't think there's any other way to put it. Justin's got a great sense of how to put these things together, and he's been extremely successful in pulling all kinds of community members together. It's going to be a wonderful event. I think everybody should give it a try in October.
So this specific event coming up in the end of October, is this open to the public? How is that setting going to be?
Absolutely, it's open to the public. We are selling tickets for $10 to the event. It's the capstone event, and we are going to have all kinds of participation. There's going to be a walking tour of Susan's work. There's going to be some writing involved and an opportunity to share that. There's going to be some music and some expression. There'll be some conversation. So the capstone event looks to be a lot of fun, and we're hoping people come out for that.
And I think my last question would just be, is there a website or any way that our viewers can learn more about the Susan Lane Foundation?
Absolutely. We're always looking for people to get involved, and for people to volunteer or just to get a hold of us and let us know how we're doing. Susan Lane Foundation at gmail.com. That's a great way to get a hold of us, or you can always reach out to Anna or I specifically.
All right, well, thank you, Joe, again for being here today. We really appreciate it. And be sure not to go anywhere, because we'll be right back with more.